Hey there. Evening, afternoon, morning, wherever you might be. I am actually in Gardnerville, Nevada today. And we drove all night long to get here, out here visiting family, off to Tahoe tomorrow. And actually what you see behind me is Tahoe. Those mountains right there. That is all Tahoe. Looks like they might be getting a little bit of weather up that way. And we're actually out here, as you can see, probably off in the distance. If you see like a blue, I'm not doing this very well from this angle, but yeah, my kids are off hiking and everything. And I just wanted to take a moment to do a quick conscious coffee in the cold without coffee. And, just touch base, say, hey, I made it to Nevada fine. Of course, that happened. Tomorrow's Tahoe and snowmen and snowball fights and hiking, and that's what our week consists of. It's just a lot of fun and adventure. And that kind of just made me think, as we're driving down this trail, I was like, me with conscious coffee, I never know what I'm going to talk about until it comes out of my mouth, which is kind of why I'm rambling right this very second, because I haven't pieced it all together quite yet. But as we were driving down this dirt road over here and out into the prairies, and it's just, number one, it's good to be close to home. I'm not quite home yet because I did not grow up in Nevada. I grew up Northern California. I was actually conceived in Tahoe, little tidbit there. So I was conceived in these mountains over here, these beautiful, beautiful mountains. One of the most beautiful destinations on the planet, in my opinion. Tahoe is an absolutely lovely location. So if you have not ever seen it, make time to go see Tahoe. But as we were driving down this road, headed out here for my boys to go and hunt down rocks and desert flowers and petrified stuff. I was thinking about, the topic that I want to talk about today is really based on adventure and based on taking the road less traveled. A long time ago, when I re-ventured down my tantric path and I called in my tantric teacher, mentor at that time, when I called him into my life, I wrote a whole bunch of articles called The Road Less Traveled. Now, I stole the name from M. Scott Peck, who wrote a book many years ago called The Road Less Traveled. And it's a psychology book that is a very powerful book. I do recommend anybody who wants to dive deeper into self-growth to go and read The Road Less Traveled by M. Scott Peck. But the whole purpose of why he named his book The Road Less Traveled is because those of us, much like Robert Frost, right? And I took the road less traveled by, and that made all the difference. And here's the truth. That really does make all the difference. It makes so much difference in our life. When we live by the herd mentality, when we live according to what everybody else thinks that we should be doing, all week long, I've been really focused on judgments and, living by other people's opinions, paying attention to other people's viewpoints and beliefs of what we should be doing or how we should be living or what we should look like or what we should be doing for work or who we should be with or what's safe for us and what's not, and all the ideas of comparison and everything. This is not the road less traveled by. The road less traveled by is the road that we choose our life. It's the road that we say, fuck yes, I love my life. I love this. I love that. I'm happy that I'm making these choices for myself. I know that I am a powerful being. I know that I have the ability to choose. That's the road less traveled. The road less traveled is the road where we know for certain that we have the ability to choose. But we're told that we don't have that ability. We're told that we should. That's that horrible, horrible word where we just should all over ourselves. We're told that we should do this or we should do that. And we are raised to believe that we are to be people pleasing, that our lives are based on other people. And yes, we are relationship people. We are community-based people. Okay? That is very, very accurate. But when we let our community, when we let our relationships determine our happiness, now we're not choosing the road less traveled by. Now we're not choosing the path that is probably right for us. What we're doing is we're choosing what we feel is right to make the others happy, to crowd please, to please another for whatever the reason is. We choose these things and we feel handicapped by them. We feel like we don't really have a choice. Well, I can't really do that. My family wouldn't understand. My spouse wouldn't understand. What will my children say? What will my best friends say? What will my colleagues say? What will they think of me? I hear this all the time in my practice. People talking about what others think. And I spend hours, seriously, hours trying to bring people back on point, because when somebody's coaching with me, are we there to coach and talk about, are we there to coach and talk about other people's stuff, or are we there to work on that person? We're there to work on that person, right? That's what we're there for. So I'm going to move across the road because there's a truck right here coming up the road. So when we are so heavily focused on other people and their opinions and their ideas and their concepts, we lose ourselves. We lose who we are. And we start making decisions not for our happiness, not for our joy, not for our fulfillment. We don't make decisions based on our desires, our needs, or our wants. We actually shut ourselves down. We entrap ourselves in a victim mindset. We entrap ourselves in a fear-based mindset. We believe that in order to enjoy, in order to have relationship, to have love, to have money, to have the work that we want, the house that we want, the lifestyle that we want, which the majority of people don't have, yet they're still sacrificing themselves. And there's so many pieces that are falling apart. On the outside, they might have the perfect picture, right? They might have that fairy tale life. But on the inside, they're not happy. Their relationships are falling apart. Their finances are a disaster. They're depressed, they're angry, and they're eating away at themselves. This is average and ordinary. That is what is average and ordinary. The road less traveled is to live by your joy. The road less traveled is to live by your happiness. Not in fear of your happiness, but to live by it and to make decisions based on it. That's what the road less traveled is. The road less traveled is to know your power, to really truly understand. I'm going to see if I can lean up against this fence without killing myself on a barbed wire fence. It is to know that we have so much power and worthiness that we don't have to do anything else for it, but just to be and to speak our truth, to really speak who we are, what our needs are, what our wants are, and laugh, connect, create our masterpiece, create our art without explanation, without the fear that it's not going to be accepted, without the fear that if we create those masterpieces in our life, that the people in our life are going to retract their love, retract their connection to us, that we're going to lose in some fashion. So here's the true matter on that on topic, off topic thing is that if somebody can't handle you, if somebody says you're too much, if somebody says you're not enough, if somebody says that you're being stupid, if somebody says, I'm not going to be your friend anymore Um, yeah, that, how elementary, right? Somebody says, I'm not going to be your friend anymore, or we can't date anymore, or I can't be married to somebody who's living like that, or who thinks like that, or who talks like that, or who acts like that, or who blah, 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 blah. As hard as it might be to have the realization that the relationship's probably at its end, they're not your people. And at some point in time, you're going to realize that they're not your people. At some point in time, much further down the road, with a lot more webs connected, a lot more strings of connection, you're going to realize all the years that you spent not living by your truth, not living by your light, not truly experiencing yourself at a deep level. And you're going to have massive, massive regrets. That's average and ordinary. That's truly average and ordinary. I don't believe that's what you are. I don't believe that you are an average and ordinary person. If you're following me, there's something inside of you that wants for more. There's something inside of you that is crying out, screaming, and saying, no, damn it. I deserve this. I want this. I can have this. There's something inside of you that wants to really truly believe that you are worthy. Even though it is growing darker where I am at, the darkness that you fear from being you, it doesn't really exist. The darkness that you fear in the loss of any relationship, if it is fear-based, it's definitely not from soul. It's not from God. That's not natural. It's not normal. It's average. It's ordinary. And is what we are taught to believe in. We are taught to believe in fear instead of ourselves. We are taught to believe in sacrifice and in the concepts and ideas that we must not be who we are in order to have, or at least get the opportunity to have, what we think we want. Always hungry for more. Always feeling empty. Always feeling alone. Sad. Angry. Bitterness and regrets. This is how the majority of people live, and perhaps this is where you're at right now. Perhaps this is the life that you are in. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Do you hear that? Oh, it's so good to be home. So good to be home. Is Canadian geese. Canadian geese, and I can't see them. They're flying south for the winter, and they're flying over the outside of these mountains of Tahoe right now, right here. And you can't see them because they're up in the clouds. Hundreds of them probably making that much noise. You know, the statement of birds of a feather flock together. That's what the geese made me think of. Birds of a feather flock together. Geese are powerful, magical, strong, spiritual creatures. And you don't see them hanging out with blackbirds. Just like you don't see eagles hanging out with blackbirds. They don't worry about the blackbirds. Yet we worry about the blackbirds of our life. We are troubled by the blackbirds. I ask you today to really truly think about how important those blackbirds are to you. Are they worth you sacrificing your fuckiest life? Are they worth you sacrificing your joy, your happiness? Are you truly content existing in this thing that you call your life with just small little drops of joy and happiness and connection and love every now and then, knowing that everything that you probably have is built on sand? You deserve a house not built on sand. You deserve a house built on a very firm foundation. And that firm foundation is built on love for self. It is built on your desire, and it is built on your worthiness and your knowing of your worthiness. I ask you today to write down, I am worthy. I am strong. I am powerful. I am lovable. I am perfect just the way I am. I can have what I want. I can have my desires. And I do not have to continue to sacrifice from this moment forward the things I want for the things that I fear. I will catch you guys tomorrow with another Conscious Coffee from somewhere, either in Nevada or Northern California, somewhere around the beautiful Sierra Nevadas. And until then, know that I love you. And remember, stop existing, start living. You can follow me at www.kendalwilliams.com.